Alright, what's good? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be comparing the Z Fold 6 versus the Z Flip 6 and just giving you like a overall hands-on comparison of both of these devices. So let's get into it. First thing I'm going to talk about obviously is the design. The Z Flip 6 is a regular size phone that shrinks down half size and becomes super compact, easy to hold, easy to put in your pocket. It's just a nice little Game Boy-esque type of design, clamshell design. I really like the design, how they kind of made it boxy, but like it still has rounded edges. And it just feels really solid overall. The Z Fold 6 is, again, a refinement from last year's model, and it is a boxier design too. And it's not as round on the corners, but it is nice in the hand. And the Z Fold 6 is a phone that becomes a tablet. You know, it has a slimmer outer display, and then when you open it up, you have a full big tablet screen, kind of like an iPad mini. You can basically do anything on the outer display. The outer display acts as its own phone basically, because you can have two separate home screen layouts. So this is my home screen layout on the outer display on the Z Fold 6. Then I open it up, and this is the home screen layout on the inner screen. So two separate layouts. You can use this phone in a lot of similar ways to the Z Flip, but very different. Opened up, the Fold is actually slimmer than the Z Flip by a little bit. You can probably see on camera, the Fold is actually slimmer than the Z Flip when it's open up. And then obviously when you close it, it's going to be thicker. And this is important because you're going to be using your Fold a lot like this, because this is the outer display. You know, for your quick usage, if you're outside, one-handed, you're going to be using the outer display. You're not going to necessarily always open up like this. Whereas with the Z Flip, you probably will open it up pretty often because it's, again, easier to open up. You can just flip it up like that, like a flip phone. It's a more normal phone form factor, so you're probably going to be using it like this pretty often. The outer display, although you can do anything on it, you probably won't want to use it for everything or as many things as you would with this screen right here. And then yeah, the hinge on the Z Flip is thicker. Overall, the Z Flip is a little bit thicker than the Fold 6. Again, the Z Flip is just like literally the size of my palm. So it's a small phone that opens up to be like a normal type size phone. Whereas with the Fold, this is a slim phone that opens up to be a tablet size phone. So now I'm going to compare the in-pocket feel and how they look as well. So Z Flip 6 versus Z Fold 6. Putting the Flip 6 in my pocket now. And pretty easy to put in my pocket. It's about as wide as a normal phone, but it's so small. So you could just drop it in easily. It's kind of like a little wallet in your pocket, to be honest. It's nothing crazy. Then if you are feeling brave enough to put it in your pocket opened up, it's going to feel kind of like a normal phone, but slightly slimmer. And even the way that it shows up in your pocket, slimmer, but it's still like a normal phone. And then with the Fold 6, put it in your pocket. It feels easier to put it in your pocket because of how slim it is. So it's in and out pretty easily. And you know how visible it is. It's there. You can definitely tell the phone is in your pocket for sure, but it's slimmer than the Z Flip. The in-pocket feel and experience for these phones is pretty good. I don't have any issues putting them in pockets and taking them out of pockets. I do prefer the way that the Fold is because of how slim it is. I just think that slimness allows you to put it in the pocket very easier. The Flip is just so small, bro. Like, it's pretty crazy that you have such a powerful device in such a small form factor. In terms of the length though, if you put your phones in your back pocket, the Fold 6 is closer to a normal smartphone length when it's like this. So is the Flip when it's opened up, but when it's closed, the Flip is more like a little wallet. So if you put it in your back pocket, it's less likely to be sticking out of your back pocket. It'll be in there. You know, just make sure you don't sit on your Flips or your Folds because you don't want to break them. But yeah, that's it. Honestly, the outer display for the Fold 6 right here is not that bad, and it's honestly not too different from the Flip 6. So you're kind of getting this year a decent sized screen on the outside for like normal phone stuff. Like, it's really not that far off. Obviously the Flip 6 is going to be bigger and a little bit more comfortable. Like, I'll show you typing later on in this video, but it's really close. It's actually a lot more comparable this year than it was in previous years with the Fold versus the Flips. Different phones, different philosophies, but they have some similarities in the fact that they have two screens and you can do different tricks that are similar. So let's get into that. So now, like, actually using the outer displays, the Z Flip, you can swipe over, see your notifications, swipe down for your quick toggle menu right here, and you can customize that and adjust your brightness. And you can see your Wi-Fi and all that stuff. And then if you swipe to the right, you have access to a bunch of different widgets, and you can customize the layout of the widgets. And if you pinch to swipe, you can see all of them rather than swiping through, and you can just go to them. And then here you have some apps that you can add. So like there's YouTube here, and you can actually like use the full YouTube app on the outer display. And you might think it's kind of weird, like why would you do that? but it's actually not a bad experience. You know, just you want to pop in, watch a quick video, continue doing something, or like you want to be discreet. Let's say you're in like school or work or something like that, and you want to like see something like a live event. You can pop in and, you know, watch that like this. Like it's very discreet. Can't really see it in my hand. And then, like, you know, if somebody's texting you, so like let's say you're trying to respond to a message, you can do that real quick on this outer display. Like the size of the keyboard is smaller, but it's not like incredibly small where you can't type. Like this is definitely a lot better when you open it up, but it's actually pretty usable and it's perfect for quick messages. So the philosophy for the Z Flip, in my opinion, is you want to be able to, you know, disconnect from your phone, not use it as much, but still have access to like notifications, or, you know, if you want to pop in and use the app real quick. It's not like fully absorbed into your phone, but it's there for quick uses. And then when you want to actually use your phone to be more intentional, you can open it up for the full screen. That's why I see the Z Flip, at least. And then, as I mentioned earlier, you do have different things. Like you can double tap the power button, and now you're in your camera, and you can change the camera settings. So you can go, you know, 3x4, 16x9, or 9x16 in this case, because it's vertical. And if you rotate it, the camera orientation will change as well, from portrait to landscape. And you can swipe through the different modes like video, photo, portrait. Then you can use, you know, 2x portrait, 1x. In normal, you can do ultra wide camera, because this one of these cameras is ultra wide camera. And then, yeah, basically all your camera things, camera modes and settings, you can access that all on the outside screen. And as you can see, this is the main camera. So if you're trying to take a selfie, you can take a really good selfie with this camera, because the main camera is obviously the best one, right? Even for like, let's say iPhones have some of the best cameras. You can take a better selfie than the iPhone in theory, because you can use this camera right here, which is better than a selfie camera on the iPhone. So it's pretty cool. And like you can vlog with it, you can record video. There's so many different things you can do, like with the hinge. You can prop it up, you can set it up like this, and then walk back. If you just show your hand to the screen, to the camera, then the phone will automatically take a video. Cheese. Then it will take a picture. It gives you a little countdown. You can customize the countdown. And boom, that's sick. For like, let's say you want to do a group photo, you can prop up your phone like this or like this, walk away, and then take that picture without even having to touch the phone. So there's a lot of different things you can do with the outer display on the Z Flip 6. Now with the Z Fold 6, this is more of like a normal smartphone size compared to that outer display. Like some people who have these kind of phones, they actually just use the outer display most of the time. And some people actually prefer it because of how slim it is, how narrow it is. This is like a S24 Ultra or a iPhone 15 Pro Max size phone. And as you can see, it's pretty wide and big, right, to hold in your hand. But with the Z Fold 6, even though it opens up to a really big screen, it's very thin and narrow. So it's easy to hold, easy to pull out of your pocket and stuff like that. So the philosophy is kind of similar, because like it's for quick sessions, quick uses. I don't think they designed it for you to, you know, go crazy and do everything only on this screen. It's more so like you open up and use it when you're trying to get serious and multitask and split screen and all that stuff. And then the outside is for quick stuff. But you can do that. You can still go crazy if you want to. Like, for example, you can do split screen on this outer display on the Z Fold 6 and still have a good time. Like, still have a really good experience. I can take notes while watching a video at the top. I can play a game while, you know, scrolling on Reddit, all on this screen. And those are things that I actually do with this phone. Even though it looks kind of small, it's very doable for those use cases. All right, so now I'm just going to show you some YouTube playback just to give you an idea of the screen sizes. And this is a regular size phone. Like I said, it's the size of like a 15 Pro Max. And then you obviously have the small screen and then the narrow display of the Fold 6. So I'm just going to show you guys the same video and give you an idea of YouTube playback or video playback on these smaller screens. So the first orientation is like this, where you have, you know, the description and the comment section down below. So this is like, you can do all that even on the Z Flip. You can still scroll through the comments while watching the video, and you can even respond with the keyboard. Of course, it's going to take up the whole screen to type on the keyboard though. There is that difference for sure. But then with the Z Fold, it's basically like a normal phone. The keyboard comes up, you still have the video playing, you can still see it, but it is going to be smaller than a regular phone. However, it's really not that much smaller when you really think about it. Like when you're doing this kind of stuff, like this is still very small in comparison to when you turn it to the side. So now we're going to go to full screen. So full screen on all these. So here's where you're going to see a major difference. The Z Flip is obviously going to be like this. It's really small. You can still watch a video like this, like I said earlier, for like quick things. If I'm just putting on a video or I'm not really caring about the visuals, more so like the audio. Whereas with these phones, I can watch a YouTube video more comfortably compared to the Z Flip. The Fold is not going to be as big as a normal smartphone. However, with the Fold, you can do things like this. Now I can prop it up and angle it, you know, depending on what I'm doing. If I'm sitting down at a desk or I'm walking around, you know, I can see my phone screen at different angles. Whereas with the regular phone, in order to do something like that, you're gonna have to, you know, connect some accessories like a MagSafe stand or something like that, or prop it up. But the Fold, it just has a built-in hinge, and you can just use it like that. It's pretty sick. You can do even temp mode like that. The Flip, you can do similar things. So, boom, now it's propped up. Then you can put it like this, and it will rotate. And again, you can still watch the video while it's propped up like this, and you can walk around and do different things. So yeah, these are not the biggest screens. Obviously, the Z Flip is tiny, but the flexibility is what makes them cool and pretty useful in different scenarios, different circumstances where you know, you might want to watch a video or something, or just pull something up on your phone, but you can't like be fully immersed in your phone. These phones are definitely very flexible compared to just a regular smartphone. Another cool use case for the Z Flip is using maps. You can just make sure you see where your directions are and stuff like that very quickly in this small portable form factor. Like, it's very easy to use. Like, this is an older phone, right? This is kind of a phone size that we were used to back in the day. And now we have something like this where it's even a bigger screen than this, but it's still like very small and compact and easy to maneuver and hold and use. So there's definitely a lot of use cases for the Z Flip. Similar, you can definitely navigate while you're on the go and use maps on the screen, but it's going to be a little bit more closer to a normal smartphone size. So you can have a full map. Like, this is a lot more usable than that, but portability, you know, which do you prioritize? Do you want like something that's compact and easy to pull out, easy to hold, or do you want something that is also both compact and easy to hold and pull out, but it's a little bit closer to a regular smartphone size? All right, so now I'm on Instagram, and you can scroll through Instagram like you would normally. Obviously, the aspect ratio is going to be very strange because this is a tiny screen. You go into the search feed, it's a little bit better. If you tap on the video, like, you can use it. It's just not going to be that usable. Now I'm going to show you on the Fold just for comparison. So boom, this is Instagram. It's basically a normal phone size, but again, very slim, easy to hold, one-handable. Go to a video, you can see everything. You got the comments. So yeah, that's Instagram and your idea of like social media in general on this outer display on the Flip. So now I want to show you the internet browser. So this is the internet browser. You got Google, and you can scroll just like you normally would. You can zoom in and out. And yeah, so let me just search something. Z Flip 6. Weight. So boom. The Z Flip 6 weight is 6.60 inches or ounces, my bad. It's really not bad. If you need to search something quickly on Google, you can just boom, 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 do that very quickly, even with one hand. Or if you don't have a hand to type, you can open this up and then just, you know, use your voice. Z Flip 6 versus Z Fold 6. All right, so yeah, there you go. It works. You know, it's just me, the way I talk, I guess. It can't really understand me that well, but you can definitely search for your voice. You can search the internet, do everything you would do normally on your phone on the inside. And then when you open it up, it continues on the inner display as well. So that's pretty cool. It continues that session. The Z Fold 6 is going to be basically like the inner display of the Z Flip 6. Like, it's a normal smartphone experience. So you can do all that. Zoom in and out, have different tabs, type. Okay, so I got the internet open on both of them. So now I'm going to share the link with Quickshare. This is basically like if you have an iPhone, it's like AirDrop. You can send files, you can send links, you can send pictures, anything on your phone, you can send it to another phone, even text that you copied with your keyboard. So I'm just going to send this to the Z Flip, except, boom, it opens up the website. So I'm going to bring them to right here. The menu will be just where the line is up here. And already you can kind of see that the Z Fold shows a little bit more because of how slim it is. It's longer and the screen is kind of zoomed out. So it shows a little bit more information. So you got text at the bottom right here versus this. But yeah, overall the experience is mostly the same. We're going to go back to YouTube. This is the Z Flip 6 main display versus the Fold 6 outer display. And the Fold 6 is going to be a smaller screen for sure overall when it comes to watching videos, but the difference is very, 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 very small if you ask me. Like, putting them side by side like this or like this, the difference is very, 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 very small the overall dimensions of what you can see because of how long this phone is, and even smartphones in general. Like you're gonna get black borders on them because the screens are not 16:9. Personally, I wouldn't even mind watching videos on the Z Fold 6, especially because it's a little bit wider than last year. Let me just bring out a normal size smartphone for comparison. Z Flip 6 on the top, Fold 6 in the middle, Nothing Phone 2a on the bottom, which is the size of the 15 Pro Max, and close to the S24 Ultra size, so big phone size. And yeah, tell me what you think about the difference. Like, how crazy is the difference between all three of these phones? The outer display of the Z Fold 6. And I know some people are gonna say, oh, well, the Z Fold 6 can open up to a bigger display. I'm gonna get to that, don't worry. I'm just comparing each screen first, and then I'm gonna get to that. So I put the normal smartphone in the middle, the Nothing Phone 2a, versus these screens. Z Flip 6 at the top. It's close to a normal smartphone size, but it is still a little bit more narrow than a normal smartphone. And it's actually closer to this, if you ask me. This Fold 5 is struggling to focus. So yeah, one last look before I move on. Z Fold 6, Z Flip 6, and Nothing Phone 2a. So firstly, you have many different ways to watch videos on the Fold series. So you have this mode right here where you can kind of see the comments, scroll through different videos, recommendations, bring up the keyboard as you can see, you could type. I think the Fold like this might actually be bigger than the Z Flip's normal watching experience right there. Like, it is a little bit wider, I think. Yeah, it's like slightly wider. And then the beauty of the Fold is that you can do things like this. Open up another app at the bottom and, you know, still have a really good video viewing experience on the top. And then if you want to, you can have another app, so 3 apps in split screen, and you can still have like floating windows, unlimited floating windows, and do different things, all while still having a good viewing experience on YouTube. And then you can adjust the size to make the bottom apps bigger, and that does make the video a little bit more narrow, but it's still pretty comparable to the Z Flip, a slightly more normal size for these apps at the bottom. And then you can resize each app if you want to do different things. So there's a lot of flexibility when it comes to the Fold and what you can do. And then going back to full screen, now if you rotate the Fold, this is the ultimate viewing experience for this phone. It's just a lot bigger. It's a pretty big difference from the Z Flip, and it's not like a crazy difference from a normal smartphone, but the bigger size of the Z Fold screen is definitely noticeable when it comes to watching videos. You can see like there's like a good amount of space right here. This is a normal phone again, so you can see that, versus the Z Fold. We got the Flip again. Flip is very narrow compared to that. Like, when it comes to watching videos and stuff, the Fold definitely wins. And then you also have flex mode, so you can go like this. And now you have, again, you know, comments and stuff at the bottom, or video controls, or another app. And you can use your phone like that. It's nice for like angling. The Z Flip can also do flex mode, so I'm gonna put it into that. It's the same thing, essentially, but obviously it's gonna be a lot smaller. You know, you have your video playing, and then the bottom becomes like the controls, so you can scrub through, you can adjust the volume and stuff like that, and then respond to comments and read the comments more comfortably than you would on the outer display. And you can also, you know, split screen if you wanted to and like do something at the bottom. So for example, you know, internet browser at the bottom while still watching the video and using YouTube as you would. It's not going to be as good of an experience, of course, as the Fold, but like this is still something that is pretty cool that you can do with these phones. All right, so now let's talk about multitasking, since I kind of already got into that. On Samsung phones, you can enter multitasking in many different ways. One of those ways is swiping from the bottom with 2 fingers, and then you can open any recent app. And then you also have any app on your phone that you can just open up into split screen at the bottom. So let's say I open the internet, then boom, now I'm in split screen with YouTube and the internet browser, and I can resize that however I want. And then I can also create an app pair, save that to my home screen or my edge panel. So I'll save it to the edge panel, and then there you go. The app pair is there. You can tap it and open up. And then you have floating windows or pop-up view. You can access those things in similar ways as the Fold. So obviously the edge panel, you can drag and drop to a floating window. Then you got dragging from the top right into a floating window. And then you can resize the floating window however you want. You can adjust the opacity. You can add this right here to make it easier to grip. You can turn it into a split screen as well. And then you can drag from split screen into floating window. So even though the screen is more narrow, there's a lot you can do in terms of multitasking and different apps on your phone. And then with the Fold 6, everything I just did on the Flip, you can do on that. And then with the addition of swiping from this side to enter split screen, you can do the same thing, choose the app. And then like I showed with the Flip, you can swipe from the bottom with 2 fingers like that to enter split screen in this orientation. This floating window right here, I can put it to the side. It's still running and open, so if you're playing a game, you can do that. And I still have this floating window right here. I can resize it. then I can put it to this side. So I have one floating window on this side, the other on that side, and I can hide them like that, interact with the apps in the background, resize them if I need to interact with one, then bring it back so I can interact with the original one while the video is still playing at the top. If I want to see the video bigger, I can do that. So you can do so many different things with split screen on both of these phones, but obviously the Z Fold 6 is just going to be more flexible in terms of what you can do. And then just for fun, I'll show you flex mode panel, so you can turn that on in settings. And basically it brings up this little panel right here that can be a touchpad for the top screen. It's like a little laptop. So you can bring down your notifications, adjust the screen brightness, adjust the volume, take a screenshot, check the settings, turn off the touchpad or not, and just use it like a little laptop. So you can see the cursor right there moving around. You can tap and hold for back, and then you can also type, bring up the keyboard and type like that. I know people probably wouldn't use this often on the Z Flip, but the Z Flip also has the same thing. So boom, now that menu is popped up, and then I can turn on the touchpad and do the same thing. So it's like an ultra small laptop right here, and you can zoom in and out with the gestures. Yeah, it's like a ultra tiny laptop. It's pretty sick. All right, so now going back to the cameras, obviously they both have selfie cameras. The Z Flip has a selfie camera on the inside, so you can use that for, taking selfies. You can have zoom at the top and then your notes at the bottom, or Microsoft Teams meeting at the top, notes at the bottom, so you can see people be on camera but still taking notes or whatever you need for reference. The Z Fold can do that for sure to another level because, so much space. But the inside camera for the Z Fold is not as good. It's an under display camera. It's right here hidden. As you can see, these little pixels right here. It's hidden underneath so that it creates the illusion of like an all screen display while still having access to a camera. So if I double tap, I can switch to the front camera right here, the selfie camera. Then it becomes black so you can see through. And yeah, the quality is not that good for a camera, but it's definitely usable for video calls. So same use case scenario that I was saying for the Z Flip, you can do that. But the Z Flip has an actual good selfie camera. Actually though, going back to Instagram, I want to test one more thing. I was thinking about this earlier. I wonder if you can take pictures in the Instagram app with this outer display camera. And you can. So that's pretty sick. You can take like high quality selfies for Instagram in the Instagram app with your Z Flip. Obviously, it looks really tiny and small, but it's definitely possible. If you press the volume button, it will shutter, and then boom, you can post it and all that stuff. As I was saying earlier, the Z Flip can show you, a viewfinder, and you can use the cameras outside. The Z Fold can actually do that as well. So you can turn it around, and then boom, this is the main camera being shown on the outside screen of this phone. And then what's even more cool is that you can swipe this right here, and then it gives you full control over the camera. So it's as if you're using this outer display anyways. And then the back is completely black. So now you can actually hold the screen without interacting with anything and like messing up your camera settings and stuff. So now you can actually hold it like this and, take selfies, take videos, all that stuff. And it's a little bit more versatile than the Z Flip because, it has a 10x zoom camera, it has an ultra wide camera and a main camera. So you can do a lot more in terms of photography, videography. And yeah, you have, like I said earlier, on this, you also have access to all the camera settings. So literally every camera mode and setting, you can do that all on this outer display with the main cameras. So it's pretty sick. One thing I love to do with the Z Folds is just prop it up like this and take pictures or videos like this of different things. And then also what I love to do is put it on a tripod and use this as my viewfinder. For my YouTube channel, I only use smartphones for my cameras. So I use my Z Fold series phones as my main phones for recording video, and I'll have it on my tripod, have the viewfinder showing, so now I can set up my shot and see what it looks like in real time as I'm about to record the video. So with the Z Flip, you can actually do that as well. Have the cover display on while you're in the camera app. So I could put it on a tripod and I can see my camera. The only thing with the Z Flip is that you can't turn on the cover display if you're recording at 60 FPS. So that's kind of unfortunate. You got to go down to 30 in order to use that. But with the Fold, there's no limitations. You can do that with any of the camera settings in any of the FPS modes. So either way, it's still pretty cool that you can just put this on a tripod and see your viewfinder for both these phones. It's pretty sick. So yeah, stay tuned for more videos on these two phones. I'm going to be comparing the gaming performance, the cameras, and video editing performance as well, if that's something you're interested in. So stay tuned for those videos. But this was just a hands-on to see, how these phones stack up against each other, how they look side by side, the different screens, the different things you can do with them. And let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you would choose the Fold or the Flip, which phone are you more interested in? But that is all for now. We out. Peace.